very fresh and a wonderful morning to one and all present here. Myself Zainab Kagvi from Atimia Green School, Jadeshwar, Bharuch. We are back with English subject for class ninth. So we are on a wonderful lesson that is packing written by Jerome K. Jerome. And this lesson is being extracted from Three Men in a Boat. Before we begin with we have already completed a few paragraphs of the story. Now let us continue ahead. What we studied till now is this is a story of three people living together, and one of them was Jerome, and he had a special skill in packing. So he said to his friends, to his mates, that he will leave the entire packing stuff on him, and they were very much pleased with his idea and they agreed on it. Then what happened next? The two other people living with him was George and Harris, and they accepted this, but he found it strange. Jerome found it strange that they accepted and left the whole thing on him. They didn't even help, they didn't even guide, but they just left everything on him. What did the George and Harris did at that time? They just spread themselves on the easy chair, and Harris just cocked his legs on the table, and they just sat and just observed what Jerome was doing. But this was not what Jerome had planned. He just wanted them to guide, to boss the job. As he had a special skill in packing, he thought that he packed stuff more nicely than other people, and he had this skill. He just wanted to boss about it, and he just wanted to just supervise them, not just do all the things by himself. Then what happened? That this was simple enough. Really teaching them, as you might say, that taking it in the way they did irritated me. That means he was irritated by the behavior that they left everything on him and they didn't just help him anything while he was working. They just sat on easy chairs and they just observed what he was doing. Then he remembered that he lived with a man just like them. They would loll on the sofa and in a relaxed manner and watch it do all the stuff. But now he says that he's not like that. He just want to get up and superintend. That means just supervise them. Then he further the story said that he did not say anything but started the packing. That Jerome did not say anything about their behavior, and he just started packing, but it took a longer time than he had expected. Then he, after packing everything inside the bag, and he just zipped up the bag, and then he found that the boots were not in. Harris informed him that the boots were not in. He just looked around and found that he had forgotten them. Then what happened next was he thought that if Harris knew that the boots were not packed inside, he would have informed earlier. But now he has not informed, but after the packing was done he informed. That shows the stupidity of Harris. And now on this, George laughed a lot, and he thought that his laughter was senseless. Then then he opened the bag again and packed the boots in, and then he forgot. He had the idea that whether he has kept the toothbrush in it or not. So this was the story we have completed till now. Now we will move up to the further story. Let us see what happened next to the George, Harris, and Jerome. Okay, my toothbrush is a thing that haunts to repeatedly give trouble me when I am traveling. Now this toothbrush is a thing that repeatedly gives him trouble. Let us see why it gives trouble. I dream that I haven't packed it and wake up in a cold perspiration, that is sweat, and get out of bed and hunt for it. That means what happens with Jerome, that after he packs the bag, he just remembers that he whether he gets confused that whether he has kept the toothbrush inside the bag or not. So while traveling, whenever he used to pack the bag, he dreamt that he always feels that he has not packed, even though he has packed, but he feels that he has not packed it, and wake up in a cold perspiration and get out of the bed and hunt for it. That means search for the toothbrush where he has kept. And in the morning, I pack it before I have used it. So what happens in the morning? He used to pack it before he has used it. For example, he packed the bag, and at night only they are going to leave on the next morning, and he packed the bag and he kept the toothbrush without fail. Then he remembers that in the next morning he has to again use it for brushing the teeth. So he again unpack again to get it, and it is always the last thing I turn out of the bag, and then I repack and forget it and have to rush upstairs for it at the last moment and carry it to the railway station wrapped up in my pocket handkerchief. So what happens? He always had this much horrible dream that he that toothbrush always he packs it before the time, and he again unpack it, and after he doesn't get it easily. After unpacking, this is the last thing he get in he thing that he turns out of the bag. That means he used to take out everything, and the last thing he found was the toothbrush, and he again used to repack it and forget about the brush, and at the last moment he carried to the railway station wrapped up in the pocket handkerchief. This is how he used to carry his toothbrush when he forgets to keep inside the bag. Okay. Of course, I had to turn every mortal thing, every ordinary thing out now. And of course, I could not find it. I rummaged, searched in a hurried or careless way, the things up into much the same state that they must have been before the world was created and when chaos reigned, that means confusion ruled. Now, so he had to turn every ordinary things out now, and of course I could not find it. Okay, I rummaged, he searched carelessly where the things up into the same state that they must have been before the world was created. So it's just a humorous forms he is creating in this paragraph. Of course, I found George and Harry's 18 times over, but I couldn't find my own. I put the things back one by one and held everything up and shook it. Then I found it inside a boot. I repacked once more. So what happened? For the further story, George and Harry's, he found it 18 times their brushes, but he couldn't find his own brush where he had kept. He just took out everything from the bag, and one by one he put the things back and held everything and shook it. Then he found the toothbrush. Where was it? You can see in the picture. It was inside the toothbrush. You can see it. When I had finished, George asked if the soap was in. George asked if the soap was in. I said I didn't care a hang, showed no concern or interest whether the soap was in or whether it wasn't. And I slammed shut the lid forcefully and loudly. The bag shut and strapped it, and found that I had packed my spectacles in it and had to reopen it. I got shut up finally at 10:05 p.m. and then there remained the hampers, basket used to carry food utensils, etc. to do. So what happened when he had finished? George asked that when he had finished the whole packing stuff, he asked if the soap was inside the bag or not. And what did he reply? I don't give a hang. That means he doesn't show any care or concern or any interest whether it is there inside or not. I don't care. And I slammed shut the lid forcefully and loudly. The bag shut and strapped it. So he just shut the bag very forcefully. He just zipped it up and found that I had packed my spectacles in it. Okay, so this is the spectacle. So he doesn't care about the soap, but he thought that the spectacles were inside the bag, and he again had to reopen it. So last finally he just found out the spectacles, and he shut finally at 5 p.m., and there remained the hampers. Only the hampers, that is the fast foods and utensils, were only last thing to keep inside. Harris said that we should be wanting to start in less than 12 hours time, and thought that he and George had better to do the rest. And I agreed and sat down, and they had a go. So what happened next? Harris said that we should be wanting to start in the less than 12 hours. We have very less time, so we think that we should do the rest of the thing, that is that basket stuff, the food basket. We'll do it. You just sit and see. Then he agreed on that and sat down, and they had go. That means they started packing. They began in a light-hearted spirit to be cheerful, evidently, clearly, obviously, intending to show me how to do it. I made no comment. I only waited. So, so in the beginning, when they started doing the stuff, they began in a light-hearted spirit. They were very cheerful that we can do it better than you. Then they were just intending to show him how to do these things. I mean, Jerome thought that he knew better, but now they are going to show him how to do it. On that, he made no comment. He just waited. With the exception a person or thing that does not follow the general rule of George. With the exception of George, Harris is the worst packer in this world. That means George and Harris both are the worst packer in the world. I looked at the piles of plates and cups and kettles and bottles and jars and pies and stoves and cakes and tomatoes, etc., and felt that the thing would soon become exciting. So he thought that he made no comments on it. He just was waiting for the let us see what they are doing. George and Harris both are the worst pecker. He said that George is an exception. That means these rule doesn't apply to him. Harris is the worst pecker. Since George is an exception on it, that means George and Harris both are the worst pecker in the world. And then after thinking like that, he just looked on the piles, plates, cups, kettles, bottles, jars, pies, stoves, cakes, tomatoes, and felt that the thing would soon become exciting. That how they are going to manage these big things inside the bag. It did. They started with breaking a cup. That was the first thing they did. After they began doing there's a lot of excitement, and there were intentions to show him how to do it. The first thing that the wrongfully they did was to break the cup. They did that just to show you what they could and to get you interested. Then Harris packed the strawberry jam on top of a tomato and squashed. Squashed means crush or squeeze something with force so that it becomes flat, soft, and out of shape. So squashed it, and they had to pick out the tomato with a teaspoon. So first thing, they broke the cup, and the second thing what was done by them was Harris packed the strawberry jam on top of tomatoes. The tomatoes squashed, as you can see in the picture. The tomatoes squashed. Okay, they had to pick that with a teaspoon again. And then it was George's turn, and he trod on the butter. You can see in the picture. He just trod on the butter. He just tapped on the butter. So earlier everything was done by Harris, but now it was George's turn, and he just tapped on the butter. I didn't say anything, but I came over and sat on the edge of the table and watched them. So here you can see Jerome that he didn't help anything, but he just sat there on the edge of the table and he just watched them, that what is going on with them. It irritated them more than anything. I could have said I felt that it made them nervous and excited, and they stepped on things and put things behind them and then could not find them when they wanted them. And they packed the pies at the bottom and put heavy things on top and smashed the pies in. So he just sat on the edge of the table, and that thing irritated them, George and Harris. Why? Because he could feel that, because he came across the same situation earlier, and that that behavior of him made Harris and George nervous and excited, and they then the more wrongful things started happening. They stepped on things, they put things behind them, and they couldn't find them when they wanted them. And they packed the pies at the bottom and put the heavy things on the top and smashed the pies in. They upset salt over everything. Matlab, they overturned salt on everything. And as for the butter, I never saw two men do more with 1 and 2 pence worth of butter in my whole life than they did. After George had got it off his slipper, they tried to put it in the kettle. Okay, so after George got off his slipper, they tried to put that slipper inside the kettle. It wouldn't go in, and what was in wouldn't come out. They did scrap, that means drag or pull it out at last and put it down on a chair. And Harris sat on it and it stuck to him, and they went looking for it all over the room. I'll take my oath to swear upon something that I put it down on that chair, said George, staring at the empty seat. I saw you do it myself, not a minute ago, said Harris. Then they started round the room again, looking for the butter, that where they had kept the butter. And then they met again in the center and stared at one another. Most extraordinarily,
here is the summary of the story Packing by Jerome K. Jerome. Jerome, the narrator, was proud of his ability to pack anything. So he told his friends George and Harris to leave the packing up to him. To his surprise, they readily agreed to his suggestion. This was not what Jerome intended. His idea was to instruct George and Harris to do the work while he supervised them. He disliked it when people sat idly and did nothing while he did all the work. Jerome was irritated, but he decided to start packing. It took him longer than anticipated, but he finally managed to pack everything. However, just when he was closing the last bag, Harris asked him if he had packed in the boots. Jerome was annoyed. He thought it was just like Harris to remind him of the boots when he was almost finished with packing. Of course, he had to open the bag and pack the boots inside it. It was then that he remembered his toothbrush. His toothbrush gave him trouble every time he traveled somewhere. He would pack it the night before and unpack it in the morning to use it. Then he would forget to repack it and would have to rush at the last moment to get his toothbrush and run to the station. He unpacked his bag again, but he could not find the toothbrush. He had to reopen everything again to find it. Finally, he found it inside a boot. Poor Jerome had to repack everything once again. By this time, Jerome was exhausted. He gave in to Harris's suggestion to let him and George do the packing. George and Harris took over from Jerome. But Jerome did not think they would do any better than him. He believed that George and Harris were the worst packers in the entire world. Jerome was right. Almost immediately, they broke a cup.